Okay, good morning, everyone. We'll just give a few minutes to see who appears to watch. Good morning, Sam Slyford. My apologies for the technical problems yesterday. My software that I use to make this all work decided that it just was no longer going to function on my computer, and I was getting the blue screen of death, and yeah, it just was a frustrating computer day. So we'll let that one rest by the wayside, and hopefully today will be a better day. So just going to give a couple of minutes to see who might appear for the live version of this, and then we'll start around 10:50. Make sure you say hello in the chat if you are joining. Please say good morning. I miss human contact with you folks. Good morning, Owen. This does not surprise me. Sam, this does not surprise me at all. You've been flying through everything, so props to you. So I'm not going to assign you extra work just because you've been knocking it out of the park. So please make sure you're checking in with me each day. Make sure you're checking the classroom. Make sure to see that, and we're going to go through everything that's on there today just to double check to make sure that you or anybody else knows exactly what the expectations are. And then on Friday, there will be an assignment that comes live Friday morning and is due Friday at the end of the day. So we will take a look what's there. So a couple more minutes and then we'll get going. Please make sure you say hi in the chat if you're joining. All right, just one more minute. We'll get going. Okay. So it is 10:50 now. My apologies for starting the stream a bit later than usual. Had to get my daughter done a virtual classroom assignment with her English teacher. She's in grade 2, and so we got that finished up, and here I am. So it's an exciting day. I'm going to start the day off with the best dad joke that I've heard in the last little while. Because today, I hope everybody's going to bundle up and stay warm, because I hear that it's going to be minus 45 today. Now, hopefully, everybody gets that joke, because today is the day that Donald Trump moves on from the presidency and Joe Biden comes in. I do feel as if this is generally going to be better for the world. So I'm hoping that that will be the case. Just updated the date on my stream here. I just noticed that the date was wrong. Okay. So, as far as our little world goes, I apologize for not being on yesterday on the live stream. I was around on Edsby messages, and I was there in the Google Classroom and on the Google Meet we had in the afternoon. But overall, I was frustrated with how my computer was behaving, and just one of those things where sometimes the technology of the world is just out to get you. It feels like it has a personality that it exudes itself on occasion, and that's what happened to me yesterday. So, onwards and upwards, spent a good portion of the day trying to get this all reinstalled and initialized, and I think we're good to go now. So, hopefully, I'm coming through volume okay. Hopefully, I'm coming through video okay, and we'll go from there. So, nobody's complaining in the chat to say that they can't hear me, so that's positive. So overall, we're going to go through the Google Classroom. We're going to take a look at the final project for Stone that came live yesterday, as well as we're going to go through and double check to make sure we understand all the expectations that we need to do in order to wrap up the course, because the course is today, tomorrow, and Friday, and that's it. And we're done. So let's take a look at the Google Classroom right now. Okay. So just going to double check to make sure that that's coming through okay. Seems to be coming through okay there. Seems to be coming through okay there. Good. Okay. So again, as per usual, the beginning of the ISU has the ISU project. Some people have come through and asked me, what's the deal with the rough draft drop boxes? Do I need to use them? And the answer is no. I'm hoping that you do. But what's most important is that I get a version of each of these in order for you to show me what you can do. The idea of growth behind this course, considering it's so condensed and all that, is that you are attempting each one of these pieces of writing. You're creating a cover, you're doing a table of contents, you're doing an editor's note, you're doing 3 feature articles of various styles, you're doing 3 advertisements, and then you're doing 1 how-to article. So the guidelines and expectations are all here, and the planning and drafting materials for each ones are here. The idea was that as you were to attempt and then submit into the rough draft folders, as you can see, I have one turned in here that I need to give you some feedback on. These are the places that you would seek me out to see, am I doing this right? Is this working the way that I expect? If it's not, then I give you the opportunity to do some revisions and fixing before you submit the final copy. Okay? So please, 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 before Friday, because I can't do anything much on Friday. Can't really do much on Thursday either. But if you have any feedback that you're seeking out today, I will turn it around and get it back to you before the end of the day so that you can fix it before the end of the week. Okay? So each one of these has particular aspects and qualities that we're looking for, and they are in this planning materials section, right? So if I go to the editor's note, for example, right? It says, what is an editor's note? An editor's note is included in most magazines. These are the characteristics or the success criteria of an editor's note. It is usually in the first few pages of the magazine. It's usually an introduction to the issue from the editor's point of view. It takes a personal tone and describes the articles in the issue with a few words about each and about the authors. These can be personal anecdotes that are outside the world of the article. Sometimes editors will include stories about putting together the issue. This issue was a bear to produce because of the grizzly that ate our copy editor with a week to go. Nothing like talking about pandemic life, for example, when completing this project. So, here's your editor's note. Should be written in paragraph form, should describe what the magazine is about. It should describe what you plan to include in your magazine. It should describe why you're interested in and excited about the content of your magazine. It should be 2 or 3 paragraphs. So you're looking at a page of writing, probably 250 to 300 words total. Okay? So each one of these types of articles has descriptions just like that in here. Feature articles, print advertisement, how to, so on. Okay? They are all there. So please, this should be your first stop before, you come to me with a message that says, wait, I have to do what? It is there for you to look at. Okay? So please, give it your best shot. Seek me out for some feedback, and then we'll knock it out. Okay? So, going back to the 18th, you had the last chapter questions for the first stone, which are right there. You had your opinion piece practice run, which was just completing a sheet that would sort of outline your thoughts about answering this question. Virtual school should continue to be an option for students even after the pandemic is over. Okay. Then you also have the rest of the audiobook if you need it, as well as a graphic multiple choice assignment. Go through this PDF and then answer these multiple choice questions by just sending me a quick message with some answers. Okay? Now, the work from yesterday, which I could not go over, is right here. Let me just check to see if I have any questions. No, no questions so far. Okay. So the final project for First Stone is attached. This would have come live yesterday, and I would have wanted to go over it yesterday, but understanding that life happens, it is not due until Friday. Okay, so this final project is for First Stone. It is attached. It will be multi-day task. Complete both below and submit both of these items below and submit before the end of the course. The storyboard can be completed in any format that works on your personal situation, either a hands-on art picture, a PowerPoint, Google slide, a Word document, whichever. Just know that I'm not marking on color. I'm not marking on art. It's about concept, okay? So let's go quickly through both of these. Okay? So these are some comprehension review exercises attached to your completion and reading of First Stone. So if you are not done reading the book yet, this would be difficult to do. So you have a matching assignment, okay, where it says place the letter of the best answer in the corresponding blank, okay? When you're submitting these answers to me, you can just give me a list that would go 1, D, 2, E, 3, F, like that, rather than printing this page out, unless you really want to, or recreating this page, okay? Then you have some short answer review questions. So it's provide enough detail in your answers to make up the point value in each question. If you're looking for bonus marks, please find the page numbers in which certain things that you're making reference to, like if you say that a certain thing that Reef did in this book was on page 57, include that in your answer so that you can say, like, not only do I know the answer to this, but I'm actually using the book as my tool. That would be a bonus mark for you guys, okay? So describe the meaning and importance of the symbol of the stone in the novel. So what does the stone itself symbolize, right, in terms of for everybody in the novel and the overall purpose of the novel, okay? Identify and explain 3 ways in which Reef shows that he has been rehabilitated, meaning how he has improved, how he has become more complete, how he has better control of himself, and so on, okay? Identify 2 reasons why Alex is an important character in the First Stone. Explain why Scar is an important character in this novel. Describe how Lisa changed from her experience in rehab and after she got out. What caused this change? And would you recommend this novel to another student your age? Please provide reasons for your answer, making specific reference to the novel. And if you notice, I put 3 points in there. I just wanted to highlight this because unfortunately, well, I mean, depending on your point of view, we're not having exams. So therefore, you don't necessarily have a little point system guide. So this is a little hint to make you think about what it is to take an exam in the future. So if a question says 3 points, you need to make 3 points, right? I'm not necessarily, or the teacher isn't necessarily going to give you multiple points for one reason, right? So if you say, I recommend this novel to another student because it's got funny bad words in it, that's 1 point. So you need to go into more detail about that, okay? So I highlighted the 3 points aspect there just to give you that little bit of environmental exposure to this, the idea around exams, okay? 3 points means 3 points, okay? So then you also have a storyboard assignment, okay? This is a sort of the bookend of our media component of our course. We didn't have the opportunity to do a lot of, sorry, my daughter stuck her head into my room for a second. Okay, so when it comes to the media component, this is kind of the bookend of the media. We did some media around film, and we did some media around, YouTube, and thinking about, our word choices and how people are represented and thinking about anti-racism in a little bit of a way. But overall, this is where we're going to complete it by thinking about storyboarding, which is this idea of picturing and recapturing something out of a book and trying to visualize it in a more of a movie or film style, which I think that a lot of people here have some experience in doing, just in their own life. And it is something that there are a lot of people on YouTube and online platforms that do a lot of transference and sort of fan movies and things like that. So let's see what you guys can come up with. A storyboard is a visual method a director uses for planning and communicating their plans for filming a scene. It shows the characters, set, camera angles, and action in a series of frames, much like a comic strip. In order for a film scene to be effective, it must communicate meaning through action and camera work. The storyboard should show this clearly. So, for example, this is from a storyboard from Jurassic Park, right? It shows all the different pieces of it. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here just to get those words, right? So, as you can see, it has a little description of what exactly each camera is doing, right? Smashes his foot into the side of the raptor's head. Tries to enter the ceiling, and so on. Okay? So, look at the different types of shots in the figures below and notice how the camera shots communicate information and generate interest. You got a long shot, you got a close-up, you got a medium shot, you got an extreme close-up. Generally speaking, a long shot will include the entire body of the subject or subjects. A medium shot will usually depict your subject anywhere from above the knees to just above the waist and up. Remember not to cut your subjects at the knees or any other junction of their body. It just looks awkward or poorly composed. Try to frame them just above or below the joint in question. Okay? Close-ups are where we most often see the emotional content of a scene. They allow us to see the characters' faces up close and thus their state of mind. Close-ups are usually framed from the chest up. Occasionally, however, they can be framed from forehead to chin or will involve just the subject's eyes. We call this the extreme close-up. Extreme close-ups, as they are sometimes written in ad drama, ECUs. These shots benefit the most from having a very tight focus. For the most part, they're used sparingly, but a single extreme close-up can add a real punch to a scene. And there you've got examples of other storyboards right there. So here's your storyboard assignment. Choose a scene from First Stone that you feel has good action and drama to use for your storyboard. Decide which are the most important details to use in your storyboard. Create at least 6 panels for your storyboard using the template provided. I can't provide you a template because none of you are here in front of me. So again, that's where I'm saying you got to do it however you feel. Whether or not it's a Google slide, whether or not it's stick figures on a piece of paper, whether or not whatever it happens to be. Okay? So at least 6 panels. It says use color, but I'm going to chop that out because distance learning. Provide description of dialogue, actions, and effects for each panel. Use 4 different types of camera shots. Okay, and here's your evaluation. Your storyboard is complete with 6 panels, dialogue, action, and effects. Again, no color required. At least 4 types of camera shots are used to enhance the meaning and interest. Scene is exciting, interesting, and is communicated clearly. Storyboard is creative, neat, and attractive. I'll be very flexible about that one, right? Because we're just going to do our best on it. Overall grade to be determined. Okay, so this is due on Friday. Your ISU is due on Thursday. This is due on Friday along with the review questions. Okay, so this, as you can see, due 22nd, 4 p.m. Okay, get that in. Okay, so for today, the small addition is the summary practice. Okay. So it says, read the attached summary instruction sheet and complete a summary paragraph on the attached article. Please submit a short Google Doc or send your paragraph via Edsby for feedback. Okay, just checking. Any questions? No questions. All right, very good. So if we go into writing a summary, this is the last piece of the literacy test that we have yet to go over together. So a summary does 2 things. It states the main idea of the article and provides details from the article stated in your own words. So in writing your summary, you need to clearly provide the name of your author and the name of your so on. So the author is not included in this one. It's just the name of the polar bear article below. Okay. So here's your template. Okay. Start with an author tag, which includes the first and last name of the author and the title of the text. So in my favorite shoe, Trayvon Jones explains. So in the article about polar bears, the author explains, right? Because the author is anonymous. Okay. Finish the sentence with the main point of this article. Answer the question, what does this essay mostly about? Think, what does this author want you to say, do, believe after reading this article? Next, talk about the main reason the author believes this and gives a few brief examples. So here's an example of a summary of this article called My Favorite Shoe. In My Favorite Shoe, Trayvon Jones explains that Nike shoes are the best brand of running shoe for serious track athletes. Jones supports this view by pointing out that Nike shoes are the more comfortable, last longer, and provide more cushioning for the feet. He notes that the statistics and sales and scientific evidence of how Nike shoes are better for the feet supports his claim. In addition, Jones points out that most professional runners use Nike, and he tells his own story about how he won the 100-meter men's competition after switching to Nike shoes. So your summary should provide the following. Here is your success criteria: a main idea, supporting points, a third of the length of the original. Well, we're gonna play around with that a little bit. More importantly is to hit as many of the points as possible. Use author tags and use your own words. Okay? So if we take a look at the article, which is right here, that's how long it is. Okay? Not super long. Okay? So I am going to read it out loud to you, just so that everybody who reads this who may need assistance with audio can certainly have a version of it. Okay? So polar bear survival in the wild may be in danger because of climate change. Climate change is lengthening the ice-free period in southwestern Hudson's Bay, and thus the polar bear fast. During the Arctic spring, the bears build up their fat by eating seals that they hunt from the ice. Warming temperatures are reducing the ice. For the estimated 2,000 polar bears in the region, this has serious implications. The sea ice melts completely each summer, stranding the marine creatures on land and away from their normal diet of seal meat. Although many polar bears do consume lots of blueberries and black crowberries on land, the bear lose almost a kilogram of weight a day for at least 4 months, and as long as 8 months in the case of pregnant females. Canadian wildlife biologists have been trying for decades to determine whether polar bears can better endure their months of fasting on land by eating berries. Biologists in the past have tried using measurements from muscle and blood without success. More recently, researchers applied masks to 300 tranquilized bears and gathered samples of their breath. They found no significant differences between bears that had recently eaten berries, detectable from telltale stains on teeth and backsides, and those that hadn't. Can a berry diet reduce the polar bear's dependence on their fat reserves? The answer is no. Unlike that of the brown bear, polar bear metabolism cannot extract significant energy from berries alone. So you're going to be doing a summary of this length about the polar bears. So in the polar bear article, the author explains that, so on and so on and so on. Okay? And then go into some of the specific details around what is there in the article as best you can. And then submit it for some feedback. Okay? So that is for today. Just to give you a quick heads up for tomorrow, because it is ISU due day, I'm doing a what you will literacy test practice, right? Where I've uploaded a whole bunch of different things. You can pick any 3 that you wish and submit me some based on what you feel as if your literacy test practice needs to be. Okay? And then the ISU will be due at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Okay? If you have trouble, please send to me in pieces via Edsby or by email. Just turn it in as best you can. On Friday, you have your final stone project here if you haven't submitted it yet. It doesn't matter if you put it in the other one, that works too. And then on Friday, there will be, it says, this will be updated Friday at 8 a.m. It is due Friday at 8 p.m. I will release details about what the task is on Wednesday morning, to come shortly. It must be started and completed on the final day, including a mandatory YouTube stream, just like this one, explaining how to complete the task, which will be live at 10:30 a.m. but available to watch when you are available. Okay? So basically what it is going to be, it is going to be a hybrid of some of the literacy test stuff that we've been doing using the first stone as our subject material. So it would be like, for example, doing a news report about a specific event in First Stone, or doing an opinion piece about a specific event in First Stone. Okay, there's going to be some options, and there's going to be a minimum expectation versus doing the whole entire thing. The goal is that the entire task should take you around an hour to complete, and it can be done. It's open book. I'll be available throughout the day on Friday. I'll be able to help you as you go, right? And I'm going to make myself available 8ish a.m. until 8 p.m. and I will be around to help you guys through it. Okay? It is a requirement, right, to get it done, and it is a requirement that we have some sort of culminating activity on the final day. And so therefore, there's what it will be. Okay? So be prepared for literacy test stuff. Make sure you have your copy of First Stone, or at least access to it there. Okay, the chapter summaries will serve you well and other things. So please keep all that work handy that you've done. Okay? So, but most importantly, get as much work into me as you can over the next little while. Okay? We have today, we have Thursday, we have Friday, and we'll get through this together. Okay? So everybody's on track, trajectory, as long as you are showing up, handing stuff in to get your credit. Okay? ISU, number one priority. First Stone final project, second priority, and then anything else beyond there if you can. Okay? Obviously, it's all required, but if you have to prioritize because you're running out of time, that's the order that I would prioritize. Okay, let's check the chat to see if anybody is asking me any questions. All right, if there's any questions, otherwise, I will start packing it in as far as being online this way, but I will obviously be available via Edsby message or for small group work if you guys need any help. Okay? All right, any questions, please put it in the chat or send me an Edsby message or send me an email. Okay? I'm available and ready whenever you are. All right, seeing no questions in the chat, I will say my farewell, and I will see you for the Google Meet later this afternoon. See you later. I managed to zoom in my screen. Wow, I've bungled this up pretty good.